to the Bible of Bike Test. Here we are for another edition, and today we're in Sedona. We were out riding the Niner Ross 9 today, and we were shredding it. What did you guys think?
This was an interesting bike.
Mm-hmm.
Intriguing. Steel hardtail, but with some aggressive spec. Dropper post and a super wide,
Really wide,
2.35 tire. I think it was a 130 mil fork.
Definitely 130 mil fork.
Yeah. Wide bars.
Yeah.
It was a
Short stem.
interesting bike.
I thought that it seemed like this whole bike was designed to be fun. Every component about it, it's not the lightest bike, it's not going to be the fastest bike, it's going to be the bike that's going to make you turn off the Strava and just enjoy the trail. Because it has the dropper post, the wide tires, tubeless ready,
Yeah.
nimble handling.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a bike
XO1
for everyone.
drivetrain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very specific market for this type of bike.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely agree.
I'm not sure what it is exactly.
I think it's single speeders.
It's, you know what it is? It's people that like to ride over shit.
Yes.
Excellent
Which is-
point.
Yes. Thank you. Wayne, let's talk about what the geometry is in this bike. So we have really short chainstays,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got a fairly slack head angle,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it came in at 68.
Mm-hmm.
You also have what they call a biocentric bottom bracket in this bike. So
Right.
you have the option that you can run this one speed,
Mm-hmm.
or you can run it geared. And while it is geared, you can adjust the length of that chainstay by where you put that eccentric bottom bracket. You
Right.
could make it shorter. We rode it today in the longer of the two settings.
Mm-hmm.
Where we could rotate it back and ride it in the shorter of the two
And
settings.
slacken the head angle a little bit in
Yeah,
that shorter
and-
setting.
The head angle, everything felt really spot on with this bike, and it was really, really playful
Mhm.
to the
Yeah.
short stays and the head angle. Easy to lock that front end up and play with it on the trail.
Super fun to descend on that thing because of those tires. It
Yeah.
could just like barrel down everything.
Yeah.
Climbing wasn't as, I mean, it was a little bit slower on the climbs, but for what it is, you
Right.
know, I guess.
It's a 27-pound hardtail made
Yeah.
out of steel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not that fast.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know if that was the goal
point.
of this
Probably
bike. I
not.
feel like
No.
this bike, the main person who would be interested in this bike is somebody who, you know, who usually would ride a single speed, but now their knees are giving out on them a little bit.
Yeah.
They want
They want
the
to have more
option-
fun,
Yeah, they want the option.
right?
It's a whole new world out
They want the
there.
option to run
Yes.
gears. You know, they're not going to necessarily be entering a race, or if they are, they'll probably be wearing a cape. Like, it's that kind of bike. It's a silly,
It
really
is that
fun.
kind of bike.
And the tire clearance, there's like
Mhm.
really a lot of tire clearance. I feel like you could put a super wide tire on that and ride it in the
Yeah.
snow in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like the spec on the bike,
Good spec.
good spec. And it's
Mhm.
like, if I worked for Niner, I probably would have spec'd it just like this. Minus the handlebars, which I didn't love. You know, a flat bar with a bunch of sweep
The
coming back.
handlebars were insanely wide.
They're
A
really
little
wide.
bit, wonky,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I would prefer a low rise
Tree
bar on that
bashers.
with a little less sweep on them.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else on that bike, they have a steel hardtail here, and they put a stealth post routing on it for the dropper post.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool,
Mhm.
right? Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, that was cool. Good
Mhm.
move.
And the paint on it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's just this really cool blue, a little
Yeah.
sparkly, kind of matched the sparkle in the red dirt around Sedona here. It was
You get the impression that the product team at Niner probably had a lot of fun coming up with
Mhm.
this.
I think so.
Developing
Yeah.
this bike and
Yeah.
putting on it what they thought would be a really cool bike.
You know, the combination of the 130 mil, the short stays, the dropper post, the fat tires.
Mhm.
I think that this bike's strong suit was not necessarily the frame of the bike. It was the package of all
Yeah,
the parts
it was
together
definitely-
that made it
Mhm.
what it was,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, definitely in some of the tighter terrain, I didn't feel like it was super maneuverable.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
we headed into the tight and twisty stuff, I suddenly found a lot of branches that I didn't
Yeah.
notice on any other.
And everything here was sharp and pointy,
Right.
isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so you can definitely tell it's really kind of designed with maybe Western type riding in mind, or at least you would certainly need narrow handlebars. You
Yeah.
probably need narrow
Yeah.
handlebars if you were out east in the tighter trees.
Mhm. Definitely.
I guess, knowing like I would have built this bike and this is how I would expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought I would have loved it more than I actually did. So it's a
Mhm.
bit of a conundrum for me, isn't it? I'm like, well, I was on it, I had fun on it, but there was something, I don't know if it was the overall, it wouldn't be the weight of the bike or the feel of the steel, which I've usually loved in the past, but it just, I don't know, it wasn't quite hitting it for me.
And I was the opposite. I went
Yeah.
into it kind of not, not super excited about the hardtail with the crazy wide handlebars, and all of a sudden, all the voices that get in your head sometimes, telling you that you need to go faster, all
Yeah.
that it all just quieted, and all I saw was opportunities to play on the trail.
Yeah.
But
It was
it would-
fun to go fast on, but I don't know that I could ride this bike all the time.
I know,
Right.
but you can have a suspension bike in a very similar weight class
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be arguably a little bit more playful on the trail.
Mhm.
So where does this come in? Like, what are we trying to do here? Like you said, you're putting it into a niche, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think some people, it could be their one quiver bike. But that's, we might be starting to talk
Back to
about
the
it
capes
much.
again.
Back to the capes.
A pretty
Very
narrow,
cape.
I would think.
And you want to spend $3,800 on a hardtail, that's, a play bike.
Yeah. I would be concerned about, I haven't had much experience with their Biocentric bottom brackets, but
Right.
is it going to make noise down the road?
Right.
Is that something that's going to be driving me
Mhm.
nuts? Just like trying to get the noise out of my bottom
Right.
bracket.
And again, it's one of those things where a lot of times when you're getting a hardtail or you're getting a single speed, you like the simplicity of it because
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
you're like me and aren't
Yeah.
convinced that lube isn't just a fad. But it is a little nerve wracking sometimes when you think, okay, I don't necessarily always like to give lots of maintenance to my bikes. Will it start creaking? Will it start,
Part of the joy of having a hardtail is that it doesn't make any
Yeah.
noise.
Right. The simplicity of it.
Yeah, it's never going to make any noise. But
Mhm.
maybe there's a potential there. I don't know. I still really enjoyed riding it.
Mhm.
And I would probably spend a little bit more time on it, perhaps.
Mhm.
Just to let that relationship grow a little bit.
Nurture.
Nurture. Yes.
So we're going to be nurturing the Niner
Mhm.
going forward.